from where your actual marks are, okay? So I came out a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to blend this back to the waist. Actually, go straight up. Okay, so I'm going straight up, and then I'm going to come in at the waist 3/4. So you go out from your dots a 1/2 inch. So out that way.
And that's 7 inches below the waistline.
7 inches below. Okay, then from there, you're going to make that line parallel to a set of dots. So do you see how I have it parallel to a set of dots all the way up? Okay. Then where the waist is, you're going to come in 3/4. Come in 3/4. So it's right there. Now notice that it's further out than my actual, you know, what this is. So I need to put that back in here. You see what I mean? Okay, otherwise it's going to be too loose.
So you're just going to move like one of these lines?
Yeah, so this is 1/4. Okay, this is 1/4. So I'm going to divide that. So I'm going to make it an 1/8 of an inch on this side and an 1/8 of an inch on this side. You see what I mean? So now I just made this a little bit wider. You got to keep it even. So divide that in half. One part goes on this side, one part goes on this side. Okay? All right, so now you can take your hip curve and blend from your new waist to your new hip. Okay, so there's my hip. Now, the length of your torso block should be 7 inches. So since you now have your 7 inches, and I'll measure the curve to make sure that it is still 7 inches, I'm going to square a line from center front to that 7-inch mark on the hip. So do you see what I did? I'm squaring that from here, and then square that straight across. There's the length of your torso block. The rest of this just goes away.
Okay.
All right? Okay, now the front, at the chest here, we dropped in 1 inch, right? We dropped in 1 inch.
On the dress form, yes.
On the dress form. Does Miss Sabo, yeah, does she come out a 1/2 inch here to give some breathing room? Or does that make it too big for these ladies?
I don't think she is.
Okay, so let's not come out then. Let's just make a straight line from the waist to the, and if you have a point here, I have a little rule, a pretty line makes a pretty garment. So if this is not pretty, make it pretty. Okay, so if you have to use your hip curve to just blend to make this a pretty line, what I did here by doing that is I added like maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Don't worry about it. Your waist has to breathe a little bit too. Do you see what I mean? Don't come out too much. All I did was just make that a pretty line. So I just turned that point into a nice smooth curve. Do you see? Okay. All right, now your dart, here's your apex. Make sure that you mark your apex on your dress form, on your bodice, your drape, and then when you transfer it, mark that. Okay, so now you're going to draw the legs in, right? Draw the legs in to the apex. Okay, and then you're going to back off, let's back off 1 inch. So from here down, from the apex down, back off 1 inch, find the center, okay, and then draw in the new legs. So let me use like another color pen here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll use the red one. So the new legs are from the vanishing point, you guys all know that, to the new waist legs, just like that. Okay, the bottom, okay, with the bottom, you need to have a straight line here, okay? So find the center of your dart legs here at the waist. So for me, mine is like 1.5 inches. So 1/2 inch is 3/4. You find that 3/4, and from the vanishing point to the center of the dart, you're just going to draw a straight line all the way down. Okay? All right, now the length of the front dart usually is 3.5 inches. Sometimes it pops. Like I've noticed.
Too short, yeah.
It's too short, so that it just kind of pops right there. So let's just try 4 right now and see what that does when we do our fitting, okay? So from the bottom here, from the waist, you're gonna measure down the center 4 inches, make your vanishing point, and then continue drawing your legs in. Now, something that I noticed that my marks, see my mark here for the waist when I traced off my muslin is right here, and then on this side it's down here. Okay, that's not even when I marked my, for my waist. Remember I made that mark, and all of it I was under the waist. Okay, so the first thing you need to do before we start all this is square a line from center front to your waist notch, and then just square that line straight across. So right at this point here is the widest part of the dart, and here is the widest part of the dart, not here anymore. We want to keep that even, okay? All right, so that's that dart. Then, of course, then this one is very simple, right? We all know this dart, the shoulder one. Just draw the legs in to the apex, back off 1 inch, which I should have done with a pencil so that you can see the difference. Sorry about that. And then draw in the new legs. Okay, when you're finished with that, then you're going to fold this dart. So again, all darts that go up and down the body, the excess paper is going to fold towards center. So the easiest way to remember what leg to crease first is crease the leg that's closest to center. Okay? All right. So creasing the leg, and it's the new leg, the new dart leg that's closest to center. And crease it all the way up. Then just pinch and close. And this is not matching either, we know that. Now we're truing it and we're gonna make it match, right? Okay, so to make it match, you're gonna draw a straight line from the corner of the neck and shoulder and the corner of the armhole and shoulder. Just a straight line. So it's not gonna be curved. Okay, and then take your tracing wheel, trace over this, open it up to shape it. Okay, and then the French curve for the armhole. Let's just follow that. You can scoop it in right here a little bit, like about 1/4 inch. Oops. Okay, so that's done. All right, what I'd like you to do is after you do that and you draw that in and shape it, then what I want you to do is I want you to put a notch in the armhole, okay, somewhere in this little curve here. Okay, just put a notch because when we make a sleeve, we're gonna need to walk it to make the sleeve.
Is that the only notch you need to have?
Isn't it?
Right now, yes.
It's like on that one at least. It's like 3 inches from the side seam.
What is?
The
So where the intersection of the neck and the center front, I need you to square this by a 1/2 inch, just like that. Okay, then take your French curve and then just blend a nice, pretty round line. Okay?